Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about going prone when you're in the sling, okay? One of my viewers brought this up. I thought it was a great question. I've done videos in the past about shooting prone, moving prone, but when I did it, I didn't have the gun in the sling, and I think that that's something that we should consider today. So first, let's talk about how I have this rifle sling set up over here. I have the sling with a QD mount on the left side of the rail all the way to the front, and then I have it on the outside of the stock all the way to the back. I have found that I like having it at the furthest points on the rifle because it controls the rifle. Okay, so if I want to get the gun out of my way, I throw it around my back. Most of the time, you're going to be doing other stuff besides shooting, right? Because a lot of times I'm walking through the woods to get to my shooting area. I'm carrying things. I don't want weight in front of me. I want it behind me. Okay, so by having the gun at the two furthest points, it's controlled. You'll notice that the muzzle's pointed up. You want it tight enough so that the muzzle stays pointed up. If you see that the muzzle's starting to fall down, like to the side a little bit, what that means is it's probably too loose. Okay, so you want to have it tight enough so that it actually sits on your back. To retrieve it, you grab the comb of the stock, bring it around, place this on your chest, and now this is like I'm going to my holster in the pistol, right? I get that, right? Like just as if I was going to my pistol, right? Put it there, bring the gun up, and then the way this is set up is this is sitting on the spot on my chest where as soon as I roll the gun up and touch it to my face, my red dot's gonna be there, okay? So even if I were to bring this up one-handed, okay, that red dot's there. If this hand can't be used for any reason, it comes up. It just rolls right up, and it goes into that spot. Okay, so that's why I want it sitting here. When I bring the gun up, you'll notice that this is basically pretty tight. It's not too tight, but it works out just perfectly. You know, so that it's just enough so I can bring it up. There is a little bit of a elasticity in this, and this is just a $10 sling. Nothing expensive here, right? $10 sling, probably another $10, $15 in these QD mounts over here. Able to roll the gun back around this way, get it out of my way, go about my business, grab the gun, roll it around, retrieve it, go to work when I need to go to work, okay? Another nice thing about this being on the outside is if I need to do a transition, right? Let's say I need to shoot to the left side. I get my arm out, transition to the left side, switch my arms if I need to, bring the gun back, get back on the right side, get back in the gun, okay? Get back in the sling. So this is how I normally have the gun slung. I practice transitions. In reality, don't expect to do too many left-right transitions, right? So this is really cool if you're training, but don't force it. You know, like for example, if training is one thing, shooting real-life self-defense another situation. You're probably not going to need to transition that often. So just be aware of that. Now, let's talk about going prone. How does that work? Right, so what I'm going to do now, and you can do this at home with your rifle as well, I'm going to raise the gun, and I'm just going to lift it up over my head. And you see as I do that, my arm naturally comes out of the sling. That's how that naturally works. Okay, it just naturally comes out of the sling as I raise it up, and then naturally falls back in. Now, when we're going to the ground, because obviously here gravity is kind of helping the sling, you know, when we're going to the ground, it's not going to be that fluid, but it's going to be pretty, it's going to happen pretty naturally. The thing to understand with the sling, right, it's here for two purposes, right? Number one, so I can carry the gun and distribute the weight evenly, right? So that it's not stressing me out as I'm standing. So I don't want the gun tiring me out. So it's there so I can comfortably carry the gun. The other reason why the sling is here is for retention purposes, so nobody can grab the gun off of me, okay? Because if somebody's trying to yank this gun off of me, while they're busy fumbling with this gun, I'm going to my pistol, right? So that's why the rifle is there. It's there so they can't take the gun off of your body. So when we're going to a kneeling or a prone position, right, usually those two things are not an issue, okay? So in close quarter combat, right, where you usually, let's say if you're moving through a room, trying to clear a room out, there's a better chance that you're going to run into somebody that you don't expect, and they're going to try to wrestle your gun away. So that's why the gun needs to be around your body. If you're in a situation where you would want to go kneeling or go prone, you're probably not in close quarter combat. So it's not an issue if the sling, if your arm comes out of the sling. So I'm going to show you guys an exercise that I do to help you, basically practice this sort of stuff. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll stand over here. All right, I'm going to come up, fire one shot standing, safety on. Now I'm going to go kneeling, fire one shot, go back on safe. All right, now I'm going to go prone. As I go prone, you see how the gun naturally comes out of the sling. Okay, so now from there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the stock of the gun in the ground and use this as a walking stick to help me get up. Okay. To go back down, I can do the same thing again. I can put the stock on the ground. That helps me get down. Get up. All right. So now what I'm doing is I'm going to back up a little bit. So there's an exercise for you guys to do. Now, one of the things you guys may notice when I was hitting my safety switch on and off from that position over there, this is an ambidextrous safety. I have it on both sides. So when I'm in this position like this, it can, especially with the gloves on, it can be a little bit more difficult to get to the safety on the thumb side. So I was just working it on the other side with my index finger. So another benefit of having the ambidextrous safety. So now sometimes as you're going down, things can get kind of tied up. So don't get like frustrated if the sling sometimes, let's say, gets wrapped up like this. Figure out what you gotta do to undo it, right? Real life situation. When your sling gets caught up, there's another thing that can happen, safety's on, is that can sometimes happen. Okay, that's an annoying situation now, right? Figure out how to work through that. Get the gun out, shoot what you gotta shoot. Okay? And then after that, get your gun on safe and figure out how to unfuck the gun, okay? So, when you get tied up on your sling, don't get frustrated. Don't stop your exercise. Keep working through it, okay? That's just real life. You're basically using a rope over here or something. Things get tangled up sometimes. Get used to working through that, okay? So this way, if it happens to you in real life, in a real self-defense type of situation, it's like you don't get frustrated. You just work through it the way you've always been working through it. So, hope this video is helpful to you guys. If you're not a member, subscribe. Talk to you guys soon.